Oh, I forgot it was public.
All right. I forgot mine.
It's a daily planner. You can like do all kinds of inserts. I love it.
Are we on video or?
I just put this on. Well, but Jamal's coming in to work on our camera, though you can see all three committee members.
I love it. Always do. It's a great place.
Okay.
All right. Madam Chair.
Okay. Yes, so we'll call this is an official call to order, 102 of the NCI Board of Directors Marketing Committee. Roll call.
Miss Miss Valerie J. Crummy,
Present.
Dr. Eric Jones,
Present.
and Delegate Destiny LeVere Boylan.
Present.
All right, you have a quorum.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for joining today. As you see on your agendas, we have next up the rebranding overview. And we can just jump into that.
Sure thing. And I'll run the PowerPoint, and then Valerie, if you want to jump in whenever you want as we go through it. So what we have on the screen here is introducing the mosaic. Since the signage of the legislation, the Delegate LeVere Bowling and Senator Srinivasan passed during the legislative session, we then got the Governor Spanberger's signature on the bill. And so then we started our rebranding process, and we now are ready to showcase it.
All right. So as Olivia just mentioned with the legislation and the name change, before I kind of get into all that piece, it's just kind of like a little bit of grounding, if you will, because this is a moment for NCI. And I want the board to feel that it is a moment. It's going to be defined by what I call like meaningful change, change that we've been waiting for, change that we need in order for us to fulfill our mission as now West Piedmont Higher Education Center. And so to do that, the visual identity is our new reality. And I thought about this when I looked at like the current NCI logo, and a couple of questions that kind of came back. It's like, well, I don't really know, what it means to see the mosaic. I don't really know what it meant to see the NCI logo, I didn't know what it meant. And so for me, when we were working through this, my thought is, how can we make it mean something? How can we brand the West? I have to get used to the new name myself, the Higher Education Center. How are we going to brand that so when people see it, they understand it? And it's going to come through our ability to tell the story. And it's our time, if you will, to tell the story. And where we've been kind of going upstream and trying to just figure it out because of the market changes from 25 years ago, or was it 20 or 25 years ago when the college, first came on board, is to now, how do we tell the story of what is this institution and what are we going to do? So you can go to the next slide. All right, so when you look at the logo, we're really positioning it as what's happening in the West Piedmont area of Virginia. And so most people know Western Piedmont, known by the mountains and all those different things. But what we really want this system to do, I'm going to call it the logo system, is to connect us to those opportunities and to the people that we're going to serve. And so the story behind it, it's built from many different tiles. Each tile is going to represent a larger unified whole. And so as we talked about, we have workforce development, we have economic development, and now with the new structure with education is another one of our anchors. So I don't know what your next slide is, but just to talk a little bit about
The meaning behind it.
Yeah, okay. So number one, aligning the new government model and the mission. The new board structure builds multiple perspectives together with no single voice that dominates decision-making. The mosaic reflects the balance, the structure, and the shared responsibility. Governance and mission are visually aligned. And so that's what you see. Do we all feel that that's what we see, that the governance is aligned to our mission? Number two, the color theory. The navy is kind of like our our anchor and represents our partnership and our stability. And we're calling that, like, that is the anchor. The Navy is the anchor there. And then the symbolism, when you start to look at the colors that we have, which it worked out perfectly that NCI had the exact number of colors that we needed to represent the mosaic. And we're not gonna call them tiles, those are blocks. We're not gonna call them blocks, they're tiles. So each tile symbolizes the areas that we're gonna focus on. One is education, two is I'm sorry, I just lost my economic development, and then the third path is
Community.
community. Yeah, so community is a big part of that. So we wanted to keep the design clean, and make sure that you'll see in the next slide, I think, how we're mapping that out to be able to tell the story behind it. Perfect. So as we start to align with our new structure of the board, each color is going to represent, and I'm saying this over and over again because this is how we start telling the story.
A repetition.
Right, the repetition of it. The tiles represent something very specific for the college. And so as we grow and we start to focus on economic development, then you'll always see the green with our anchor of the blue. When you start to look at the navy blue, when you start to look at the light blue, that is the anchor for our educational wing, the 5 units of education. And then the third wing is our community, and identifies all the partnerships that we have within the community. And so each of those organizations, they'll start to see as we build a story of, yes, that's mine, right? It's very ownable for each of those channels that we have, the pillars that we're representing there. All right. Okay, so how we're going to use it? We'll use it in 2 ways that we just talked about. One is as a whole, which is what we see there. When we're talking about recruitment and outreach materials, pathway communications, and just the general information that's coming out of West Piedmont Higher Education Center, you will always see it navy with the colors in the middle. And what it's not an abstract branding. I mean, it kind of, you would say, oh, that's pretty. But as board members, as community members here represented, we always want to make sure that we convey it as a mosaic, and that the reason for the mosaic is the different areas, the different pillars that we represent within the college. Okay.
And this is just an overview of the different variations. If it was on a very dark or light background,
Yeah.
we can switch to a monochrome theme and.
Yeah, and kudos to Erica and Olivia for really working that.
Definitely Erica.
Yes, yeah, for really working that. I know I had a lot to say, but.
No, I think we all worked together
Yeah,
really well,
okay.
and
Yeah.
I mean, we made a really nice final product.
We did.
All of us did.
We did.
We all had different
Yeah.
experiences and
Yeah.
thoughts about it and went through various iterations, and I think this is
Yeah.
the best.
And I think it's important to note, for those who weren't part of the making the sausage, if you will, we thought about, like, what is it about this area that we really want to convey? Like, you look out this window and there's beautiful mountains here. And would we want to show mountains in the logo? Would we want to talk about anything else in the community that drives us? Do we want like a road to, all roads lead to, West Piedmont? So we did, look at a lot of different thoughts behind that. And as we really started to iterate around what is it that we're trying to convey, and really it comes back to the law's destiny. And I never can say the name properly.
Srinivasan.
It's really a monumental, step forward, for the organization. And for you, feathers in your cap for, passing that unanimously, I do believe.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited. I'm thrilled about the energy around making that change, around us moving into a different era. And there's a lot of things, that we have. This is just a logo, but all the meat behind, what goes on within West Piedmont and all those different things. This is let's wave the flag. Is it white that starts the race? Or is it?
Checkered.
The checkered flag.
flag.
Yeah, we're gonna get the checkered flag out to say, here's our checkered flag. There's a lot of work to be done, I think, visually, It looks great. And before I go on, since we do have Lee, here in the room as well, I do want to just acknowledge that I did take that anchor and moved it to the top and ran that through my objective processes. And so if you'll take a look at this, it didn't work from the top because the top means it's more governance driven because that's the anchor. We want it to be where the education center is the anchor, but as those students move through this mosaic, they're going out into the world. And this is your pathway. And so now you're able to go out into the world and go from there. So we did definitely take a look at the evaluation of what that would look like. So.
I don't think the anchor element jumped out at me. As you talk through it, I understand the
Yeah,
direction of it.
yeah,
Basically, that there's an anchor or a foundational element at the bottom.
right,
Yeah.
right. And so to that point, it comes down to us being able to tell the story, right? Just like any logo, we're going to build the brand with the anchor and the pathway. And so we have, the start,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have plenty of things, plenty more sausage to make.
Yeah. Process
Right,
never ends.
right. So which would start, after July and what the committee or what the board looks like,
Mhm.
going forward. And we have new members
Yeah.
joining and different things like that. And, lots of work to do. But I think knowing where we're starting from and keeping the vision in mind of what we're trying to accomplish is the only way that we're gonna be able to say, is this in service to the
Mhm.
mosaic? Is this in service to the direction that we want to go in? And if we always come back to that, I think we should be able to, build the path that we want. Yeah. So it's all.
That's beautiful. Good job,
I
Alex.
applaud how the committee came together too, it's a combination of both. We figured it out to where we didn't have to have we worked with the schedules and the board was accessible to the staff accessible to the board. And then we were able to get something in a short turnaround because
It was.
this got signed,
Late March.
March.
Late March.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
to get to ideate around that and get
Mhm.
something in multiple iterations, to get it ready for this, I've seen logos take years
Mhm.
to even get to get out of
True.
committee, right?
That's
So
true.
Well, it's been such a busy season, I know, especially for you, delegate. We were very thankful that y'all were so accessible and helpful and took
Thank
so
you
much
for
time
that.
to
Thank you.
think about it and work through the process.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it was good. I am counting that the board, will unanimously vote today that
Mhm.
they love it.
Yeah. Well, I think the first step
Next
is
steps.
one of y'all making
Here.
a motion and getting it out of here,
Yeah.
and then we'll.
I'd like to entertain a motion
Okay.
on the approval of the logo to move it on to the next process.
I'll second the motion.
Yeah. but she has to entertain.
Yeah, I can't make the motion. I
I make
can't
the
make the
motion
motion.
to approve the presentation and approval of the new logo
Thank you.
for committee to present it to the board.
And I'll second the motion.
Great. It's been moved and properly seconded that we approve this logo to move it on to the full board meeting. And with that, we can take a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And those opposed? The ayes have it. And I'm so glad that we have made that motion.
Great. We did have
Saying
on the
public-
agenda public
Yeah.
comment. I left
Mhm.
that open. We haven't received anything online. And unless Lee
Lee?
is a member of the public and wants to comment, then I think we're.
I wanted to make sure I addressed that, so yes, yes,
Appreciate, Lee, appreciate as a board member
I did.
weighing in on we was like, we could catch people off guard at the meeting.
Sure.
So we sent it out in advance, so.
No, I totally appreciate that. We want somebody to pressure test it, right?
Mhm.
We need that. We don't just go, oh, it looks good to me, but then you're like,
Mhm.
what? So no, I like the pressure test.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, wonderful. With no further public comment, any further comments from committee members? No, staff? Any comments? Okay, wonderful. Thank you all for joining us today. And with that, we will adjourn the meeting. Oh, motion to adjourn the meeting, just kidding. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second. I'm
You
sorry.
make it.
I make the motion to adjourn the meeting. I make the motion. Just-
Or you could just say so moved.
Or
So
something.
moved.
There we go.
Second.
Great.
All right.
That's
Meeting
wonderful.
Beautiful.
So
Meeting
much.
adjourned.
Yeah, just so moved. I learned it. Yes.
I like